This is the last article we have in the packet titled Why Are We Obsessed with Superheroes? Originally published by ABC News, January 6, 2013. Superheroes have long been part of a popular culture, but they're beloved by comic nerds of the 1930s are bringing millions into mainstream box offices today. What makes these characters so riveting? As you read the article, take note of the ways superheroes have changed throughout the years and what these changes reveal about American society. So again, you have two options for annotations, or you should be doing both, but the way superheroes have changed and what they reveal about American society. Let's go ahead and get started with paragraph 1. For decades, we have found comfort, even hope, in superheroes. Now they are the kings and queens of the box office. What explains their enduring appeal? Over the years, superheroes have morphed to fit our social needs of the time. Whether it's Iron Man, the biggest superhero star at the moment, or Superman, about to renew his brand with Man of Steel: The Dark Knight, struggling to keep it together in Gotham City, we need superheroes to tackle problems that are too tough for mere mortals to handle. We look at Batman as being the ultimate policeman and Superman as the ultimate fireman, said Dan Didio, the co-publisher for DC Entertainment, the comic book company that owns both franchises. Superman is there to help people and save people. He is not passing judgment. He is not trying to push an agenda. When there are people in need, he is going to be there to help, no matter who they are. Superheroes are the Greek gods of secular modern life, otherworldly figures able to tackle the problems of this human world. Like the gods of Greek mythology, they can be flawed. In fact, some argue that we need them to be flawed. Part of their appeal is that we can relate to them, despite their being superhuman. Hans Zimmer, who scored the music for the Dark Knight trilogy and the new Superman movie, Man of Steel, said that while working on the Wagnerian theme music for Batman, the variation of a single note could signal hope, fear, or vulnerability. I am playing some sort of musical chess, Zimmer said, noting that as the final installment of the Christopher Nolan trilogy began when Batman was wounded. The superheroes themselves have changed their metaphorical tunes ever so slightly over the years in response to the challenges we need them to tackle throughout history. Superman first arrived from the planet Krypton in the 1930s during the gathering storm before World War II. In the cartoons of those early days, he fought Nazis and avenged the attack on Pearl Harbor. In some ways, Superman was a Jewish superhero. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, the two men who created Superman, were Jews, according to former DC Comics editor and comics teacher Jim Higgins, who teaches the Creating Comics class at the Los Angeles-based Meltdown Comic Shop. He calls Superman a metaphor for the Jewish immigrant experience. He's a strange visitor from another place, Higgins said. He's a stranger in a strange land. He has to adapt to being there. He has to learn all the ways to be an American, the same way they did. You come to America, it's the land of opportunity, so you can become anything, even Superman. Later, Vietnam and Watergate made us more cynical. Straight arrow do-gooders suddenly seemed dated. That may explain why the Batman of the 1960s wouldn't dare take the superhero stuff too seriously. The 60s TV show was pure camp, an ironic take on the genre. For die-hard fans in those years, admitting you like men in tights became about as cool as attending a Star Trek convention. For a long time, comics had this air of disrespectability, Higgins said. That changed on September 11, 2001, with the attack on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. The world was once again divided into good and evil, but was still morally complicated, flawed, and vulnerable. Suddenly, superheroes came back in a big way. Captain America, a Marvel Comics character that originally debuted in the 1940s shortly after Superman, made a re-emergence in the 2000s in the 2011 film Captain America: The First Avenger, took on the 9/11 attacks. To see Captain America standing at ground zero, sort of being not like Batman, rah, we'll get him. No, Higgins said. It was like he was there helping get people out of the debris and all that stuff. Then it was sort of the mourning period with Captain America, and Captain America was sort of like, let's hold it all together. The 2008 economic collapse doubled down on the chaos and uncertainty, so that by the time The Dark Knight Rises was released in 2012, the story of a troubled billionaire in a bat costume battling a villain who might as well be from Occupy Wall Street. Who do you root for in that scenario? Times have changed not only in terms of the challenges the new Superman faces in Man of Steel, set to premiere on June 14th, but also his day job. Clark Kent is actually a blogger at this moment in time, DC's Didio said. He left the Daily Planet and is really going to establish himself in a way that makes him feel like he's in touch with the world today. He's a digital journalist. Batman has moved on too. Adam West, who starred as the classic Batman of the 60s, is now the voice of Mayor West on TV's Family Guy. To most folks, however, he will always be the Caped Crusader. In fact, he said he spent years trying to escape being a superhero. Because I was typecast extraordinarily, West said, it was difficult, but after 5 years of doing dumb films, I decided that people love Batman. So why the hell shouldn't I love Batman? Why be ingrate? So I became rather fascinated by it and how to keep that particular culture thing going. West has found that superheroes never grow old, they just change with the times. That was a nice, easy read. You have 5 questions that fall under text-dependent questions. Let's go ahead and start with number 1. Part A. Which of the following best states one of the central ideas of the article? A. Superheroes are constantly evolving to fit in with the culture and politics of the time. B. It is the flaws behind each superhero that makes him or her so popular and relatable to the average American. C. As technology advances, superheroes are becoming more in tune with the digital age. D. Comic creators like those behind Superman will often use their own life experiences to inform their superheroes' characters. 2. Part B. Which of the following paragraphs provides support for answer to Part A? A. Paragraph 4. B. Paragraph 11. C. Paragraph 18. D. Paragraph 22. So this does not give you specific quotes from these paragraphs, so you have to go back and reread them. It is a requirement for question 2. Question 3. According to the article, how did Vietnam and Watergate shape American perception? If you need to look at what Watergate is, that's fine. Some of this has some historical context behind it, but you need to include textual evidence for this. 4. Part A. What does the word ingrate mean as used in paragraph 25? A. One who is looked up to, a hero. B. A scoundrel or minor criminal. C. A person whose cynicism makes them disliked by others. D. One who does not show sufficient appreciation for something. I've said this in prior videos, but again, if you need to use your resources, go ahead and do so. 5. Part B. Which phrase best provides the best evidence for the answer to Part A? A. Spent years trying to escape being a superhero, paragraph 24. B. After 5 years of doing dumb films, paragraph 25. C. People love Batman, so why the hell shouldn't I, paragraph 25. D. I become rather fascinated by it, paragraph 25. The way questions 4 or 5 are set up is 5 is really saying which context clues are helping you understand what ingrate means in question 4. So if you need to do question 5 first and then go to question 4, that is perfectly fine. For discussion questions, there are 3, but again, it is only a requirement that you do 2 of them. Question 1. According to the article, why do we find comfort in superheroes? Use evidence from this text and your own experience in your answer. 2. The author suggests that we invent superheroes in order to help us cope with the realities of the time. What are other ways we use coping mechanisms? How does art play a role? We talked about coping mechanisms like the first couple weeks of school. If you can remember all the way back until then, you can have some great examples of how we cope. Question 3. In the context of this article, how has America changed over time? The EdSite link to this is NPQZP. Go ahead and answer those questions. If you have questions, email me or reach out to me at my Google Voice number. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.